Well, Harry, a game coming up quickly against MK Dons. Is that a good thing after what happened at the weekend?
Of course. It's always good to go straight into another game, forget about the past and think about the future. I don't think you can dwell too much on it now because there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. So the only thing we can do is concentrate now on MK Dons and try and get a result there.
You've kind of answered my question anyway. I'll ask it anyway about what kind of manager you are, whether or not you do dwell, and whether you did dwell with the players on it maybe yesterday on Sunday, or you just sort of 6 o'clock Saturday night, boom, that's it, we move on.
No, I'm a person that will put things behind me, and like I said, there's unless you know a formula that you can go back in time and you can change things. You have to forget about it. There's nothing you can actually do, so unfortunately people make mistakes and you have to accept it and you have to move on and you have to try and make it you have to learn from your mistakes first and foremost, and if you learn by your mistakes you make sure they don't happen again.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, good therefore that you don't have time to dwell on it. The players don't have much time to think about it. They've just got to focus on a very difficult looking away game at MK.
Yeah, we know MK is going to be a tough challenge. We know that they've taken a hit last year and they're going to want to go back up. So we know it's going to be a tough game. It's a great stadium, great pitch. We know that they like to play. They've got some quality players in the team. But again, for my team, we will go out there and we'll play our style of football, and it should be an exciting game to watch.
They're strong, aren't they, at home? Obviously unbeaten so far since they've come down. And in Paul Tisdale, they have a manager who knows this league very well, doesn't he? Inside out, if you like.
Yeah, he's been a massive servant to the game. I think he's an excellent manager, and he's done excellent at Exeter. And to get his move here, he's obviously progressing. So for me, it's going to be a tough challenge to come up against an experienced manager. But again, he's got a side that's very well organised, very attacking, very comfortable on the ball. So again, it's going to be an interesting game.
It's a challenge, isn't it, to go there and be the first team to win there this season?
Well, someone's got to win. Someone's always got to win, and you're always up for these challenges. It's nice to be given challenges. Every game is a challenge, but when something like this appears, you want to be kind of the first team to knock a certain team off their peg.
We've talked before, Harry, since your arrival at the club about a sort of steady progression. It was a bit of a setback, wasn't it, at the weekend? And I suppose you'll be looking straight away for your players to kind of continue that graph upwards that they were before the weekend, if you like.
I think you have to understand this is going to be a long process. If everyone was going to sit here and go, okay, well, we're going to win every single game now and we're going to go to the top and we're going to get promoted, I think you've got to be realistic. We're down here for a reason. I've been brought in to change it up, to be able to change, to bring my ideas in, because when we look at what I did at my former club, I think that's what attracted the owner to bring me here. And again, we're working that way. We work every single day in the way that we want to play, and it takes time, and there's moments where you see, is it going to be difficult to be able to play this certain type of way? Yeah, there is, because every game is different. But again, my players have adapted. They've adapted well, and they're looking more and more confident in the way that I want them to play. And you just need that little bit of an injection. And like I said, we've had an injection. We've had some good results. But again, we know in football, in any given team, any given moment, a team can lose. A team can not just show up to a game, and that happens. And you sit there and you do scratch your head, but again, you can't dwell on it. You got to refocus them. You got to sort them out. And you got to make sure they're prepared for this game on Tuesday.
And important too, as well as not dwelling on it, from what you're saying as well, is not to get too down about it. We always hear managers talking about not getting too up when you win, but not getting too down when you lose either.
Of course, and you take the good with the bad. Some days you can go out there and play absolutely horrific, and you can win. And you're sitting there going, that really didn't go to plan, but I got the 3 points. Or you can sit there and go, well, we absolutely dominated the game. Possession, shots, and we lost. So it's a tough game. You know, no one said it was going to be easy. You need to be able to be on point. You need to be ready, and you got to give your best. And that's all I ask, is my players give their all. If you give your all and we lose, well then you got no complaints with me. You have no complaints. But if you know that you haven't given your all and we've lost, well then, you know, you're not only cheating yourself, you're cheating the club as well. So as long as you give it your all, and that's not just in games. Like I said, you have to give it your all in training, every session, every time we talk, every meeting, you've got to give your attention. And then when that happens, then you'll start seeing the results happen.
I wonder where you are squad-wise, Harry. Obviously, we're out of the transfer window at the moment, but are you still looking? Are you thinking of maybe adding to your squad if you can, strengthening, or maybe thinking ahead to January, or more short-term than that?
I have an idea of what I want. I know what I want. Well, I don't have an idea. I know what I want. And then now it's just sitting down and having these discussions with the owner.
But you would like... So are we talking January, or are you thinking sooner than that, Harry?
I believe we have to get the players that I require to play a certain way. We need, and we know it's going to take time, and I know I'm not going to get them all in one big hit. The rule in football, it takes you 3 years to actually build your squad together. So you don't get that long no more. So again, you're going to have to push. But again, ultimately, we all want the same thing, and we all want the progression of the club. And again, we've got to make sure we do, or if we do bring players in now, or if we bring them in January, they're the right players to bring the club forward.
And about the squad that's here at the moment, Harry, how are you looking injury-wise? Were you okay after Saturday?
Yeah, we're okay. A couple of little knocks and bruises. A lot of egos are hurt. But other than that, no, we're fine.
Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks.
Where do you think your team needs to improve? If I was to ask you now and say which is the most major part that they need to improve, where is it?
I'm clearly really not going to say that out loud, am I? Because then it's just going to go in the press, and then other managers are going to be working on that. Look, I think we are all heading in the right direction. Again, it's something that is going to take time, unfortunately. And if you get given time, you'll be able to produce. And I know I can. I've done it. I've done it in my short career, and I'm excited for this challenge to be able to do it again.
I know you just briefly spoke about transfers. Have you already identified in your mind the players that you specifically want?
Yes.
Is that going to be a long process, do you think, to get them all here?
Well, I don't know. I've got a meeting with the owner in about 20 minutes, so it could be very quick.
Can I give you a call in 25? MK Dons, they played very well this season, but you've proven this term that you've got players that can hurt the opposition. Is that probably perhaps the most frustrating thing, particularly on Saturday, that you have the attacking players to hurt teams? I
think if we want to look at Saturday, if we want to dwell in the past, if we want to look at Saturday again, I had an idea of how to hurt Bury, and I spoke to them today about it, and they hit all 7 points that I asked. And I said, well, how come we didn't do it? You know, it was one of them. You know, I think one of the questions were, we were too nice to Bury. I said, please, someone tell me in my pre-talk or my whole week of working, have I ever said be nice to a team? And they said no. I said, well, where'd you get that idea from? So again, it's about players accepting a challenge, and again, it comes down to concentrating and working hard. You know, I'd worked on a certain way of playing which required certain players to really push themselves to a limit where they probably haven't pushed themselves before. But it didn't work. So I had to kind of revert back into playing another way, which is frustrating because I know it's in them. But it's just going to take time to get it out.
Substitutions, you spoke after the game on Saturday, Christian Dennison and David Vaughan impressive. Is that giving you food for thought for Tuesday?
Look, every player gives me food for thought, especially after the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those where if you impress me and you get your chance, you'll get an opportunity. But again, it just doesn't mean just because you play one, you know, bad game that you're automatically out of the team, because that's a little bit unfair as well. Because let's face it, we're in League 2 where we know the standard, we know the attitude that they can slip up. You know, they're more likely to slip up or not be at the races in certain games more than at the higher level. So you have to allow for that. And like I said, I just feel it was just a blip. And I feel that the players are ready now to correct it. And we know it's going to be a tough game. We know Hanilor at MK Dons is like a three-pointer for us. So we know it's going to be a difficult game. But again, we're going to go there full of confidence and go out there and play the right way.